Even my strap is falling off. That's how hot. The music is trying to undress me.
I love it.
The music is trying to undress me.
Isn't that why music was created?
It is to undress us, to make us right?
Telling your faces be like the best. Before we get on air, your faces are absolutely the best things ever. And yes, like, we love it. Again, if you are listening to us on Radio Regent and you're not watching us, please follow our Instagram because Telly's faces are, like, my faces are good, but Telly's faces are something special. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Happy Saturday, y'all.
Happy Saturday,
everyone.
It's going to be an episode, and it's a topic I never thought we'd actually have to speak about, but apparently these days on the internet, this is a necessary topic to talk about. So we're going to be talking dating while pregnant with another man's child. I just had to put that part on it.
Right.
In case
Yeah,
you
that's
that part.
important.
So you're dating while pregnant with another man's child. However, before we get into the topic, as usual, we are going to introduce ourselves in alphabetical order.
Hi, everybody. This is Garcia. Welcome to Not Your Typical Girl Talk, where we talk about all the hot topics, all the madness happening on the internet. It's coming from a Black perspective, the only perspective you really need to hear. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to Radio Regent for, of course, giving us a platform to share the good news.
Yes, we are here to share that good news. I love that. Hallelujah. We're here to share the good news, right? Hallelujah. Hey, everybody, it's me, Telly. I am also a proud member of the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. And like her just said, we're sharing the good news. We're sharing the truth. We're sharing the realness. What other realness do you need? The Black perspective is the only perspective. Point blank, period. Next, please. On to the next. Girl, Sheba, tell who you is, girl.
I do what I can. And I am the Sheba nickname Sheba. I am the final female member of the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. And honestly, it's going to be a show. Like, I really am perplexed by this week's topic. Like, I'm actually perplexed. I mean, I have a personal story about this week's topic, but I'm perplexed that it's even a question out there in the world. I'm even more perplexed by the comments that were made about this week's episode. Anyways, we're going to get into that. I'm going to introduce, or he's going to introduce himself, my partner in crime, our male correspondent. Who you listed this week?
Oh, Roberto. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome. Glad you could join us. And this first topic is just phenomenal. Let's go, I guess.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Actually, as he said, first topic, there is something I want to put out before we go. Listen, a few weeks ago, we did a topic about Fallon. Her maiden name is Pina. She's Simon Gabadawa's ex-wife, who, if you don't know who Simon is, he's currently Portia Williams from The Real Housewives of Atlanta's current fiance. Now, people were going in on Portia and Simon about their business and all kinds of things. All I'm going to say is, again, please make sure you're following us on Instagram because I'll be posting the drama.
Girl.
So I want to go on one of our posts, and I want you to know that Fallon has 4 baby daddies. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Since he's Roberto today, I'm going to do that in Espanol. Okay? So, uno, dos, tres, cuatro baby daddies. None of these babies were with her husband, Simon, but the current pregnancy is with the man that Simon had stated to the world that she was cheating on him with. She is currently pregnant. Again, uno, dos, tres, cuatro baby daddies. For all of you who are coming for Simon and Portia, that's all I'm going to say. 4 baby daddies.
How did she do it,
4?
though? Because with 4 different baby daddies, how did she end up getting the high-value man?
Well, she had 3 baby daddies before the high-value men, and now she got whoever. I don't even know what Jalen does.
So
but
it
half
just
she didn't get.
it just goes to show. It just goes to show that
Listen,
you
and it's
cannot.
right, and you made that point. Simon is a high value man. She is a listen. At the end of the day, like our godfather Kevin Samuels likes to say, what is your sexual marketplace value?
That
Your
part.
SMV. Fallon is a absolutely gorgeous
She
woman.
is.
She
She's a
is
beautiful woman.
beautiful. So her
Definitely.
SMV on this market is very high, despite the fact that she had 3 baby daddies, 3 kids with 3 baby daddies before her husband, and now husband has left her, whatever, she on her 4th baby daddy. So women out there, if your SMV is high, again, your sexual marketplace value, you too can
You
get
too.
to
You too.
You
a high
qualify.
value man if you got multiple baby daddies.
You
I
qualify.
do not recommend you having multiple baby daddies, but
Mhm.
should you have multiple baby daddies, you too will be able to do that. Anyways, I digress. We gonna get into baby daddies and dating while pregnant. So again, some of y'all owe Simon and Portia an apology. We don't,
We don't.
because we saw through the BS right in the beginning. We knew something didn't smell right, and so when it all came out, we were right.
I got a question since there's 3 ladies among me and we have a female audience, of course. But I thought, because I saw a post, and this was about a week ago or something, and it made me snicker. I was like, that's funny. But I kind of disregarded it. But then when you said something like that, like Portia, I mean, what's her name?
Violent.
Has 4 baby daddies. And I'm like, why don't women get, okay, so we know the math of the socio situation. There's already more women
Mhm.
in the world than men.
That part.
Then you add in incarceration and mental health and sexuality preferences, that number reduces even further. And then you have a woman like Fallon who took 4 dudes off the market as far as baby daddy because all 4 of these guys, baby mom, like, why doesn't that upset y'all?
That part.
Why don't y'all check each other like
That part.
damn, because the post was
Boom.
looping back to my point. I know I'll be running off, but the original point was kind of to the effect of like, damn girl, like, why don't you leave some baby daddies for the rest of us? Like,
It's a nice thought.
See, and that's the thing. I fully agree with what you're
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
Rob. And I've got to say
Absolutely.
this, and I said
we know
it
niggas
to you
is dumb.
before.
Like,
I'm like, if you
not
have a problem
leave.
with men right
Sorry.
now, you have your sisters to blame. Women are causing the problem.
Thank
We are the reason as to why it is so hard
Hmm.
to date because of us. We're the ones causing the problem.
Yup. Because we decide to sleep with every man. You don't use no
The
contraception.
hookup culture,
You have 4 babies.
The hookup
and 4
culture,
4 different men.
the-
Come on, yo.
the easy breezy, beautiful cover girl culture. That is what is messing us up. This is why. Why should a man sit down and marry one woman when he can find 5 women that will sleep with him after knowing him for 2 hours?
Thank you.
Why? If I was a dude, I'd be like, hell, I don't need to marry none of y'all.
No, because they don't value themselves.
So
So
why
why should
should
a
I?
man?
Dating with intention. And this is why this whole topic of this week, and I'm even going to bring it up. Let me even listen. I watched Catfish, and it was funny. I was watching this before we even had, and he was dying because like he's working. It was this whole thing. So I was watching, I think it was Thursday. It was Thursday after we had our planning call. And this episode threw me for a loop. I'm just going to give you the rundown. You can go on Mr. World Premiere or MTV to watch the latest episode of Catfish.
Mm-hmm.
Young girl, 23 years old, met this guy online when she was like 11. They have been corresponding. He's 22. They're both Black. He's about his business. She was saying he's into stocks right now. He works. He's like got himself together. He's a young man about his business, has a stock profile, all kinds of things happening. Like he's really trying to make it this way in those world. During these 12 years of knowing the guy, she happened to have 3 kids. She had 2 baby daddies. She has a 3-year-old and 1-year-old twins, 2 baby daddies. Essentially, fast forward to them meeting and it's going back and forth. And she, he's very nonchalant about it. Like it's an online thing. I didn't think it was going to go to anything. And he finally says, And you got 3 kids at 23. I'm 22 years old. I'm not trying to be anybody's stepdaddy. I am on the road to success.
Thank you.
And you want to guilt me because I am choosing not to live in a space where at 22, I am a stepdad. At 22. And I remember looking at him and said, I wish our son would bring home at 22 a woman with 3 kids. I wish our son would bring home at 22 a pregnant woman for somebody else. I wish he would. And I wish my daughter would be that girl who's bringing home at 23 pregnant, talking about, and I know my baby daddy left me, but this is my new boyfriend, mom and dad. I wish.
Yo, like, again, just from my, like, from a guy's perspective, I guess, I just mostly got questions. Like, from a female's perspective, how do you rationalize? Because, though, 10 months of pregnancy, right? So, you got pregnant, so within, let's say a year, let's give a buffer of a month on either side of it. How do you go from within 1 calendar year, your perspective on a man is, I'm going to have his baby, to, I don't want to be with him no more? How?
That's an awesome
Because
question.
which one of those doesn't weigh very much? Is it the I want to have his baby? Like, does that, like, not mean anything? Y'all, like, chicks just out here having babies and just don't care about who they father is?
Well, I
Or
already know how
is
it feels
it
because
that there's that little commitment to family that it's just like within a year, like, this ain't working, I don't want to be with you no more? Like, which one is it?
Here's and I'm gonna add to that. Why are you having babies for men who don't want to be fathers?
thank you.
That's the biggest question here.
See, again,
Why?
it boils down to that question that we ask every week. And that question is, what conversations are you having with people before getting into bed?
They're not having
What
any
kind of
conversations.
conversations?
There is none.
Because if there was
There's none.
and the only conversation you're having is, we know what.
Okay.
And that is not saving anybody, because you're out here having children that aren't wanted. And no one is thinking about the kid.
No.
No one is thinking about the toxic, negative energy that is being transmitted into children that are not wanted. They're being born into abandonment. They're being born. If anyone here believes in spirituality,
Please, Garcia, say that again.
People here, and you are bringing children into the spirit of abandonment.
Yep.
And when they turn 30 years old and they're having feelings, issues healing their inner child, it's simply because they were born in a situation where they were not wanted.
Sad.
And that's your fault. It's not the baby's fault.
Nope. The baby's innocent. They didn't ask to be here. How much are contraceptives? And they're really that they're not expensive. You can't purchase a condom. You can't get on birth control.
And again, men have responsibility in the regard of reproduction, but you can't leave us in charge of the state of affairs.
No.
That's not going to be smart.
I've said it before. I have never in my 41 years on this earth and my years being in relations, y'all don't need to know when I lost my virginity. I have never been in a situation where if I said to a man, and I'm blessed that I can say this, when I said to a man, no, if you do not have a contraceptive, a condom, we cannot be intimate. Men have left the house and gone to Shoppers, CVS, Walgreens, wherever they need to go so that they can get it right. I have never been in a situation where I said that and a man just said, or a man will be like, yo, okay, maybe it's not meant for tonight, right? And we don't like, I'm blessed to say that that's happened because I've never been in a, you know, in a rape situation, thank God. So I'm blessed for that. But again, most men are going to, when you say, yo, no condom, no love, they gonna respect that, right? 98.9% exactly. They'll text a homie. They will do whatever. They'll be like, yo, homie, you in the area? Yo, I know you keep a pack of rubbers in your glove compartment. I need you to drop, like, they will figure it out. So I'm sorry. When you turn around, and I'm going to read some of these comments because we're going to play this clip of this girl talking about should she date while she's pregnant. when I hear these things where women say, well, the man is doing this, why is always a deflection? You are responsible for your reproduction. I have one biological child. Why? Because I only wanted one. Why? Because the thought of potentially being a single parent to multiple children did not entice me. I knew that in the state I was at, I could only, if I were single, deal with one child. And I also fundamentally believe in not having children with different men. That is and I stuck to it. I didn't care who came into my life and told me how great it would be, because I also knew you could be saying all the sweet nothings right now, and baby comes along and bye-bye you go. And I'm stuck with 2 kids and 2 baby daddies. I'm not doing it. It wasn't for me. So I made that choice, and I had to walk away from 2 relationships with perfectly good men. But I was like, nah, I'm good. So when we take accountability for our own lives, I don't like this lack of accountability. And when I read some of these messages, you're going to be like, what? Like, how did this work? Anyway, so listen, let me tell you something. My son is not coming home with no pregnant woman that he did not in.
Girl, hell no. No.
And my son ain't coming home at 22 years old when his life is just starting, talking about, I'm about to be a stepdaddy.
No, even
listen,
nephews out there, I already let them know. It's like
listen, make sure that all your kids have the same last name. Make sure
we're not doing
nothing this whole eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Nieces and nephews, we're not doing
no.
this. So
no, you can have as much kids as you want. Make sure it's with the same person. That's it.
Think it through. That's it.
So
and have
telling
a conversation.
Oh, that would be nice. Communication? That's a thing?
Girl, I guess it's not in style anymore. I don't know what.
Do women
text about it?
Text.
Is he ready to be a father?
Whatever y'all gotta do. But have the conversation.
And that's the problem. I said it before. Here are some questions, and I'm going to repeat almost every show. I feel like I have to repeat. Here are 3 questions when you are dating with intention. If you are a woman who wants to have children, because there are women who do not. If you're a woman who wants to have children, you are dating with intention, you ask a man 3 questions. Do you want to be one, do you have any kids? Yes or no? If no, do you want kids? Yes or no? If yes, do you want kids with me? Yes or no? Do you want kids? How quickly do you want kids? He will give you a timeline. If I were to get pregnant with outside of your timeline, would you stay?
I'm gonna drop a little game in there for you. There's one other question. I think
Go
those
on,
are all
baby.
great questions. Do you have any kids that you're not sure about?
Oh damn! I didn't even think about it.
Like,
You are such a man.
Lie by omission, yo.
That is a good one. I was thinking like a woman. That's why we got you.
That's it.
That's it.
Lie by omission, though, all day.
Oh, this is a long comment, y'all.
Women are trying to find love, but in the wrong way. I agree. Women feel like they can trap men to love them when they have kids, or men will change once they have children. Unfortunately, this technique does not work. No, it does not.
It doesn't. It needs to stop. This is an old trick that women need to stop doing, because it does not work.
It never worked.
It never has, and it never will.
Never.
Can a man get a woman pregnant and trap her by making her have a baby? Does that work? Like, because she can give it up for adoption, let's just say.
Okay.
Like, you can't, but a woman can definitely make a man be a father. He can be kicking and screaming into fatherhood. He ain't got no, and it's like, okay, this is so incredibly politically incorrect.
You are politically incorrect. Go ahead.
But that type of foolishness leaves ridiculous men to do stuff like what Ray Caruth did. Y'all remember that story?
Yeah.
And that kid is now alive, and he's a blessing, and God knows what he's doing. But like, they're not every man is just gonna be like, that's my responsibility.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Not every man. Just like if you strike a man, not every man is of the character
He's gonna
to not
refrain.
hit you back. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
Some
exactly
men will be
true.
like, you know what? I'm gonna get up out of here. You're not gonna be doing that to me. But some guys will duff you out. And is it right? No.
No.
But how can you say he wronged you when you smacked him?
Because again, we are living in a feminist society where, because there's that word, feminism, we're living in a feminist society where women are being told that we can do anything we want. We can
And that
be
we
anything
can
we
be men.
want. We
Yep.
can
We
do
can be
all
men.
of
We
these
have big D energy.
ridiculousness and never really have to take accountability because men are the fault. And in our community, Black men have been in the fault for many, many decades and moon. Even though if we go Black men have been protecting Black women for centuries upon centuries. On the plantation, they were taking licks for their wives, their sisters, their mamas, all kinds of things. But all of a sudden, there's this hashtag Black men don't protect Black women campaign. And this is being started because of feminism. Fourth wave,
Yep.
65th wave, whatever wave we are on, I don't know. But I think it's ridiculous. And so again, when we play this clip and I read some of these comments that are being made, we are here to say, we have to take accountability for our own actions. I am sorry, I am not teaching my daughters in this world that they get to blame other people, especially men, because they have made poor decisions. They have to deal with those decisions. Simple.
I agree.
You have to own it. You have to swallow it. You have to deal with it. You were part, like when you lay down in a bed, as Jamaican, when you lay down in a bed with man, what do you think is going to happen? There are a couple of things that can happen, and you need to think about, do I want these things to happen with this man?
The consequence. There are consequences.
Yes.
And whatever happens, you are at cause. You are the one that decided.
That's it.
Unless there is a violent,
no
abusive thing happening, you decided.
Chances are he's not going to pull out a Bible.
That part. So we got a clip of a young lady who is the one that even started us having this discussion because she had a question that she posed, and Telly's gonna play that clip, and then I'm going to actually read some of the comments people made under this clip.
Here we go.
Phenomenal.
Okay, so as you guys know, I'm pregnant 14 weeks now. So I'm not with the child's father. You know, I mean, that's like a whole other story. We'll get to that. But is it okay to date while pregnant? Like, I just want to know, like, men and women, like, what's your take on this? Like, because there's some wannabe stepdaddies out there, but do y'all feel like it's weird? Because I kind of feel like it was weird at first. I haven't started dating yet, but I feel like it was weird at first. Like, I got a belly. Looking at me like that. Like, what does that mean? So, tell me, is it okay for me?
It creeps me out, personally. I mean, to each their own, but to me, I don't think it creeps me out. I'm not about it.
I'm not here to say anything bad about the woman that, brought up this question. But even her talking about it.
Why are you talking like homosexual?
Why is she talking like that? But anyway.
14 weeks. Let's just add that she said 14 weeks. 4, 8, 12, 16. So it's 3.5 months. And you were pregnant for 40 weeks. So she's got 26 weeks left. You have a 6-week checkup where the doctor clears you to have your pum-pum rammed up again after baby. So that's 32 weeks because you clearly are not with the baby daddy. So something happened within, and usually you find out pregnancy at about 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
So within somewhere of 8 to 10 weeks, you and baby daddy are not together. And you want to think that dating while pregnant. But before you guys give the comment, I'm going to read what some of these people had to say. And a lot of these, unfortunately, are women. Black women.
Of course.
Here we go.
Is the baby daddy focusing on the baby while I'm pregnant as well? I mean, if the parties are comfortable, this one girl had sense. I would never, that's just me, need time to focus on my pregnancy, shots my baby. Pregnancy is hard. If she has a man that comes in to rub her belly and feet and shoulders help her feel secure because the father of the child won't. Good for her. She's still a woman, baby or not. This girl says she starts off top to start. What other people eat don't make you shh. As per the video, my opinion is that the baby daddy could be abusive and manipulative. And she's just looking to have some fun and get out instead of being locked away and depressed because she's supposed to wait. A lot of opportunities pass people by because they're too afraid to take a risk but want the reward. She can't focus on her child and the things she wants. People often forget the woman was her own person before getting pregnant, and that pregnancy is not her only identity. Then people wonder why their parents either hate them or try to live through their shoes. I think I've said enough with that.
Stop right there. Hold
Yeah,
on.
because I'm having heart palpitations right now. Okay, so first of all, can I say something? And I'm old school. Y'all can cuss me out after if you want. But guess what? Your belly is a life change, sis. You are a mama now. You are a mom, a full-on
She's a
mom.
whole
You are
mom and
now
a half.
responsible for taking care of a child and raising it in this world. So don't come to me with your identity is not. It's like, she's pregnant with someone's child.
Thank you.
I don't know who the father is. I don't know what the relationship is. I highly doubt the father or the person is abusive, because she would not be sitting calmly in her car easily talking about the idea of dating another man that is not the father of the child she is carrying. So I don't think that's the situation at all. And I think that people need to get away, again, this be free to be me movement, which is actually toxic. We're just saying, yeah, you know what? If cocaine makes you feel better, then you might as well just take it.
Oh, Jesus. But isn't it fun what got her pregnant in the first place?
Thank you. She was already the fun girl.
Her fun is now got her pregnant.
Free to be me.
And the man doesn't want to be with her. I don't know. I'm old school as well. I just feel like when you're pregnant, the focus should be on your baby. Whatever the man wants to do, well, they should discuss that before she even laid down in the bed with the man in the first place. Seeing that she did not have that conversation, what she should be focusing on then is the life in her stomach.
Growing.
That's growing. She should nourish and take care of that. As for belly rubs and foot rubs, doesn't she have family? She got a friend. I don't know, a girlfriend, a guy as a friend, or someone that can help her in those ways. Figure it out, sis. But her being so quick to just want to go out and date with a whole life inside of her, what's she gonna say to the man she's dating? Oh, this is my accessory. Was it a Chanel handbag? It's a whole life.
Unit. So I'm gonna read my comment on this post. I have two. I said, this has to be a joke. Instead of finding dates, she needs to find a therapist. I'm going to assume that based on the fact that she's already single at 14 weeks, she wasn't dating with intention. Women are out here giving up pum-pum and having men come in them that they haven't asked whether they want to be a daddy or be a daddy to their child.
That part.
Wanting to parent with you is vastly different than wanting to okay? As women, we need to do better and stop blaming men for decisions we've made. Stop giving up pum-pum and having babies for waist suit, and then there will be less single mothers. I then added, in addition, when has it ever been okay to bring your old relationship into your new relationship? Women get upset when men talk about their ex, that a man should accept a whole other man's baby growing in your belly. Also, why are we okay with single motherhood that we're willing to have babies for men who don't want babies with us?
Okay.
All of that.
Okay.
All of that.
Okay.
I am of the school that you are now pregnant. If you are
Take care of your kid.
If you're not dating the man who is the biological father of that child, you should be keeping cool and collected and getting ready to mother this child. And then after the child is born, you can,
well, it's your life.
You can choose to do what you like.
Want to do. But...
I also know, I know that on our planning call, I had read a bunch of stories from different women who have gone through this situation. Now, I found that there was only one person who did it successfully, dated while pregnant, found someone that actually stayed with them. And you're gonna laugh because The only woman that was able to do it was a woman who was gay, and she found a girlfriend.
So
through the so a feminine energy was attracted to her being pregnant, and they became a family. Good for them. Best of luck. But that's the only time it actually worked.
For her.
Every
the men were like, hell no.
The men weren't about it.
All the stories I read, one guy, this woman out with while she was pregnant, and the one guy was like, so if we were like to be intimate, would my parts like poke the kid in the head? And I was just like, wow, this is what dating is like while you're pregnant, huh? I don't know what's sexy about. I mean, yes, I know that everyone's human. I'm not saying that you can't be sexy and pregnant. Do you, girl? But on the flip side, why do you even want to go out like that to find love?
And I do want to understand why a man would find it attractive. Like, how deeply in love do you have to be to date a woman that's literally pregnant with
another man's child? I'm curious.
And Rob, I'll leave it to you. Maybe you might have some insight.
Again, I'm confused by that whole notion and mentality of it, because most products you buy have a 90-day warrant. You know what I'm saying? Like, most jobs have like a 90-day period where it's like, look, man, we can let you go within 90 days because we don't even know if the person we interviewed is actually the person. Like, most manufacturers will give you a whole year on a warranty. Like, how in the world is the state of relationship so bad that corporate America has more confidence in their products than Vegas has on these relationships that we're bringing children into?
I love that.
That whole part.
14
that's a journal prompt,
weeks,
probably.
no, that's not even 120 days. You went from sleeping with this man, cool, again, but I'm willing to bet he's thinking he got something casual going on.
He definitely was. She was the first-time girl.
He got pregnant because y'all being, we look again. Y'all can't leave it to men. You can't. We'll be like this.
Hope for the best.
Go for it. You know what I mean? Like, but you can't leave it to men. Please don't leave it to men. Families need better. All right. So you're sleeping with him, then you find out you're pregnant. So at some point it had to go through your mind, like, because again, I don't know, is it a situation where you knew instantly who you're pregnant by, or did you have to run through, like, that's really bad. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other conversation, because that's only a 30-day period. Like, damn, you can't close the window that much. You know what I mean? But hey, like I said, different combination. But 14 weeks from laying to having sex, because I'm assuming since the relationship was only 14 weeks or so, that you didn't make him really get to know you first.
Right.
So I'm imagining, let's say this whole thing took place in 6 months. I think it's very unlikely that this whole thing took more than 6 months. Because again, 14 weeks ain't even full yet. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna have this baby, and like, what is his relationship? Like, what I want to know, what this, like, no one on that list asked her the most valid question I think a guy would ask is like, why are you pregnant and dating at 14 weeks? Because to me, that's a tremendous red flag. Like, something's wrong.
That's why I said she doesn't need dates. She needs a therapist.
She needs therapy. Even Ann Jean, she wrote something here earlier. She said, these women are afraid to be alone, which is sad. Love yourself first.
There is a lack of self-love here, because
she can't be by herself.
She can't be by herself.
And she will never be by herself after she has that baby.
A whole human inside
But see, again, how much are we honoring life? And this is the thing, and this is, again, I'm bringing up the feminist movement, as Toshiba brought it up earlier. But in a way, again, we are moving so much in masculine energy now that as women, we are pregnant and looking at it and saying,
I'm alone.
I'm alone. The idea that that's the mindset that a young mother has
that's really disgusting,
at that term of her pregnancy,
Mhm.
it's very sad, and it's actually, you know,
That's a
again,
problem.
I'm not going to diagnose a woman on Instagram by all means, but you do wonder what is going on within your mind, sis.
That's a problem.
What was your childhood like? What was the relationship between you and your mom, or even maybe you and your dad?
Mhm.
Because why would you look down? You can literally see things are happening. You can feel growth. Human life is growing
Inside
within you,
of
and you're
you.
looking at it and you're like, well, it's me first, boo.
Oh, you can't even out of your womb yet, and you're ready to find some sex. Come on,
What is
woman, nah,
happening?
you do need therapy.
What is happening?
You
You
need
don't need to
therapy.
date. You need to call up your girlfriends and say, yo, let's go to this amusement park. Let's go travel. Let's go on a road trip. She could do that with her
She could
girlfriends.
do that.
The first couple of months, the baby gonna look like the daddy.
It does. It does.
That's
All of
that's
that.
biological. Like God did that
Facts.
because that's why when you see sometimes the dad is like, because genetically that's proven science. The first 4 to 6 months or so, the child tremendously favors the father because Mother Nature don't want the daddy looking at the baby like, who is this?
That's it.
Yep. This is why lions
So that's
sometimes kill
that's
their
what
kids.
makes
Yes.
the father bond to the child. It looks like me
Right.
because we're wired differently.
Right.
God knew what he was doing on certain stuff. But again, y'all out here making decisions based on how y'all feel about stuff and got our community and our families looking crazy out here because so when that man, again, it's not his kid, so when that kid come out looking like
Somebody else.
Donald, you know what I mean? Because I'm
Like
sure
the
you
dude
gotta
down the
talk to
street.
him about this relationship. Look, this man is, because either this man is bonded to you now, you know what I'm saying? So either you let him off the hook and just be like, look, if he don't want nothing to do with the kid, and you just like, cool, go on your distance, whatever. But that doesn't erase the fact that the biology is there. Like he could double back in 10 years and have grown and matured and be like, now I want a relationship with my kid. And you can be like, whatever, but he can go get some lawyers, and it's a situation because that's kind of embedded in the Constitution that a parent has a right to, what is it, the love and compassion of a child and companionship of a child. Like, but that's not a reason to have babies.
What is the reason to have babies these days? I really, I have to ask, what are the reasons?
And,
our parents had babies, our grandparents had babies for very different reasons. A lot of our grandparents, especially when you're West Indian or Caribbean, you have a lot of aunts and uncles and so forth, because, your grandma, grandpa had like 11, 12 freaking kids. But most of them were biologically of the same mother and father.
Right. Yeah.
They had these babies and they grow up in the same family. I'm always thinking how bad it is for siblings to be separated, right? Like it is a tough thing when you got
cool,
because it's funny when you talk to the kids about. I was talking to my stepdaughter about, because Rob has 2 other kids with another lady, and my 11-year-old stepdaughter, I say stepdaughter to be clear, but I still call her my daughter. She was saying, we're walking to school one day and she says, it's a shame that I don't get to grow up with, and I won't say the kids' names, but my brother and sister, right? And she's got a, bio brother who's same mother, same father. She'll get to grow up with him, but she understands the impact of not growing up with her brother and sister, because at 11, she's all about family. And I often think, as parents, do we think about that part? Do we think about the impact on children? I thought about that. And let me tell you why. I'm going to give people some background. I am the product of an affair. My parents had an affair, and that's how I was born. I was blessed to actually have a stepmother, which is why being a stepmother for me is so important. My stepmother raised me for the first part of my life in Jamaica. So imagine having to look at a baby every day that her husband cheated on to have. I was that child. And I was raised in a home with my 2 older sisters and my cousin. And so I have this bond to my eldest sister that is incredible. But my father, having understood the importance of raising his children together, and it's not that my mother didn't want me, but he was in a much better situation to have me in the home than being with my mother. Fast forward to me becoming a mother. I understood that the last thing I wanted to do was be in a situation where I had my daughter and then I went and had a child with another man. And let's say this relationship works out, but my daughter has to go on visits every other weekend, or she's missing every other Christmas, or every other holiday, or every other summer. But here I am having this happy little life with her sibling or siblings. I've always thought, what is the emotional impact of that on her? Forget the fact that I didn't want to have other children. I could have changed my mind at any time.
Right.
And said, you know what? I'm 28 now. I'm with a great guy. Let me go pop out another baby because I'm still young. I always thought, what would that be like for Treyanne to be in a situation where every weekend or every other weekend I'm dropping her off to her dad, but her sibling gets to stay at home with mommy and daddy while she's being schlepped all around the place with daddy and missing that time with mom. And honestly, that is the second reason I never had any more children, because I wanted to make sure psychologically my decision didn't have a tremendous impact on her, because I understood how my parents' decision, I'm so happy I'm in this world, but I understood how the decision of my parents put me in a therapist chair many, many years later. I didn't want that for her.
Yeah. And that's the thing, blended families, you know, also being in a blended family, we have siblings that are half siblings. And, you know, your parents try to do what they can. We were lucky. We had parents that were like, okay, we are bringing up, you know, our two older sisters, our two older sisters from a previous relationship. We're bringing them to Canada from Jamaica, came here, and they lived, you know, in the house with us. We grew up as just a family of 4 girls, didn't even refer to each other as half sister. You know, that's my sister, that's my, and that is, you know, that was a situation where it's like, wow, they really thought it through. They decided this is what we need to do to make sure that these kids grow up in the healthiest situation that it can be. And again, leading with intention is so important. And what's happening now is a lot of people are no longer thinking about 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. They aren't thinking of how is this going to look a year from now. They are literally either doing what Anjean said earlier, they're having children trying to trap men, or they are having kids maybe because it looks cool for the gram. I've actually heard this foolishness.
Stop it.
You know, literally having children as a thing to say,
an accessory.
Oh, okay, I have a kid and I'm a mom, and now I can have a baby shower that looks like something out of the Kardashians, whatever it is. But they're out here doing things that are not, you know, they're not thinking things through. They're not thinking with intention. I just want to quickly say too, thank you, Radio Region, for allowing us to be on this platform. Thank you so much for allowing us to talk about all of these hot topics that, you know, people want to hear about. I know that I am enjoying this conversation, even though I'm biased because I'm in the conversation.
Because you're in the conversation.
You know, this conversation rocks. So therefore, that's that. So back to the show.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. We're living in a very selfish world. A lot of women don't care. We don't care. They can be pregnant and have all 10, 16 kids. They don't really give a butty lip, really. What they care about is how many likes they get, how many Netflix deals can they get, how much clothing designs they can afford, how much men they can capture with their sexy bodies, but then they have 16 kids behind them with all different last names, not knowing their full identity. It's sad, and it's really instead of it getting better, it's just getting worse and worse and worse as the years go by. And I know, like, you know, our grandparents, they've passed away, but you're saying, Toshiba, you know, about grandparents from back in the day when they had lots of children. Every kid was loved, every single one of them, even if they were from a different family, you know, had different parents, they still felt that love. These days, I'm sure that therapists are running out of calendar space because there's so much broken souls on this planet. So many kids that have grown up not knowing the real love of a mother because their mom is just saying, you know, I only had you because I wanted to capture your dad. He doesn't want me. So now I look at you, I see your dad, and I hate him, so I hate you. So they pushed that poor kid aside, who we already said had nothing to do with your whole
No choice in the matter.
thing in the first place. But now you're putting that hate on your kid, and then the kid grows up with these horrible emotions, and they just repeat the same pattern. So it's like this really sad domino effect. And the only way to stop it is literally
stop the generational curse.
I swear, like, just imagine, because I'm sure every single one of us has been out in public and seen the effects of it. Imagine if not just baby mamas, but baby daddy. Because again, there's a lot of women that's got multiple baby daddies. There's a lot of dudes that's got multiple baby mamas.
Yeah.
Imagine if they decided to get along with each other.
Even that.
Yeah,
Even that.
just get along.
Just get along.
Regardless of how I feel about you, bro, or regardless of how I feel about you, sis, these kids are in this world.
Here.
Let's try to make it better for them.
Co-parenting.
Just try to get along. Try to, even meet up for Christmas. It's like, okay, why don't we both, as blended families, just spend it together? All the kids, everyone
Even
just come
just a
together.
2-hour dinner, and then everyone can go about them business after.
Just for that.
Similar to her, I come from an environment where it was, the adults did try to have some sense and put adult stuff to the side for the benefit that it was important. Well, because, and it's crazy, the logic was kind of jacked up, but I remember one of my uncles telling me it was important for all of us, to know all of my cousins and stuff like that, because they don't want you to then be 20, 25 out in the town and you dating your cousin, you don't even know who she is, and now she pregnant. And your first cousin.
That part.
You see?
That's a real.
That's a serious, yeah, absolutely.
It happened.
It happened.
Because this is a true thing. Because back in the day, you had
It's
Christmas with your family.
These kids is related and stuff like that. They need to know who their mama and daddy is. That's important. You can't just because you don't decide you don't like Ronald, you just gonna make Tom the father just because Tom is more responsible. Right. But that was Ronald baby.
Here's my thing.
That's
if you wanted belly rubs and foot things, you should have thought about who you were having your baby with. I don't understand how you get pregnant and then you're seeking a father for your child after you're pregnant. How does that? Please, someone answer. How are you seeking a father after you're pregnant?
I'm telling you,
it's just weird how we're doing everything backwards.
Everything is backwards.
Everything is backwards. You get pregnant and then you decide, well,
now I want
a
meaningful relationship.
It's like, why didn't you have these conversations before? Why are people so afraid of communicating? Why?
Because ladies, when the situation is right, when you say I'm pregnant, he will actually be excited.
You don't say.
He will actually be happy.
Yeah, remember when people
be joyous.
Remember
when
those
the situation is right.
Thank you.
When the situation is right.
Right.
But when y'all been just casual and chilling, you come over and drink beer and play PlayStation and and then you like, I'm pregnant. He's like, that's not the response you want. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? If a man says, oh Jesus Christ, if a man says to you, what are you going to do? The emphasis in that sentence is actually on the word you. What are you going to do? They're not saying, if a man says, what are we going to do? It's a very different conversation. Yes. When a man says, okay, Toshiba, so what are you going to do? That is his way of saying, I don't want this baby. Tell me you don't want this baby without saying you don't want this baby.
Right. That's how
they say it. What are you going to do? It's the way of telling that.
Because on the flip side, it shouldn't be where you say I'm pregnant, but I'm not going to keep it. And that's what makes him excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the wrong situation.
Right.
And don't tell men you're pregnant if you're not going to keep it. Don't tell her. Don't put anybody through that. If you've already made that decision, because listen, what happens in the bed is between both of us. But once a woman finds out she's pregnant, that's entirely up to her. There are plenty of men who looked at women and said, I don't want this baby with you. I don't want to be the father of your child. And they still went ahead. I've told a story before of a guy who drove a girl to an abortion clinic. Yeah. She went in there for the allotted amount of time. Yeah. She came out of the car, got into the car with him. did not tell him that while she was in there for the 2 hours, she didn't get the abortion. He said, have a good life, only to find out months later when she told him she had this baby.
He should be able to sue.
He should be able to sue her.
Oh,
Right?
I
So
agree.
now
He should.
He
That's
did
crazy.
go out of his way
He
to
did.
make sure that this pregnancy would have been terminated, and
He
she
should have every right
did
to
not.
sue her.
She did
I
not
think
meet
that's
the
the
contract
definition of fraud.
that they had
He
made.
should have every
You made him
right to
think-
sue her.
That you wasn't pregnant no more, and then you showed up some
Said, "Here's your baby."
later, like,
No,
"Here,
right,
baby."
no.
Because
That's not
again,
right.
But
No,
wait, I ain't even one messing with you no more
That's
after
not
that.
fair.
And you like, well, there was no that.
because I
I
didn't
That's
have this
fair.
abortion.
That's not right.
But
No,
again,
it's not.
people will look at him and say, well, why aren't you taking care of this baby? She had said to you, I'm not going to have this baby. You guys came, I'm assuming, to this decision together, more 90% her deciding, because a woman has to decide that she's going to do that. And it is fraud. You have now made, like, he's a parent to that child by default.
Right.
Yep.
That's not okay.
Right.
It's
It's
not.
no
Like, that's
different
not
than a
okay.
woman
It's not,
saying
like, if
that.
you're going to choose baby fathers, choose husbands.
For real. Because,
Well,
like,
here we go, and that's that girl.
That's a whole other
That's a
episode.
whole other episode.
That's
you
an
turn it
episode
over
right there.
like
We
a
also
demonic
know-
person, you know? You done got pregnant, and he over there at night praying, kill it, miscarry. Like, you shouldn't have a man praying that the baby don't make it. Like,
Right.
that's bad. And
Right.
some of y'all put
A lot of women don't realize exactly.
I'm just thinking about that. Like, that's kind of crazy, though. Like, you know she's pregnant, and you. Like, I haven't experienced that where it was that severe of just like, you know.
Mm.
But I can only imagine being a fellow, like,
I was
say
having a
somebody
good
you
time.
were sneaking around, like, you
Having
ain't
a
even
good time.
introduced your homeboys to. Now, you probably shouldn't have been behaving like that. But again, we can't be responsible for the state of affairs. Guys do stuff like that. You sneaking around. She ain't all that cute. You're not all that proud of the relationship. And she tells you she's pregnant and she's going to keep it. What that's got to feel like, you know what I mean? Like, now she's going to present to the world, such and such as baby mom. He's over there like, yeah, man, I ain't, you know.
14 weeks. Let's just go back to 14 weeks.
14 weeks.
14 weeks, and she's decided
Wow.
that she needs to date right now. And what is she going to tell? Because I do want women to understand it. Let's say you're out there and you're thinking about it, ladies. You've got to answer some questions.
Deep
And
questions.
the man is allowed.
First one's, where's your
You're
baby
putting
daddy?
yourself out there, so
Right,
the man is
somebody
allowed
after
to
that.
literally ask every
Where's
single
your baby daddy?
question that is coming.
Yep.
Where's your
So
daddy?
be ready to spend the entire date explaining why
Where's your baby?
you are pregnant and are presenting yourself on Tinder.
Pregnant and
Weird.
seeking father.
Oh, and the other question I have for the ladies is, because I've literally heard this, and again, I'm not saying personally, but I have heard this like, oh, well, I don't believe in abortion because of religious reasons or whatever, I guess. But I'm like, but you believe in
Premarital sex.
cannabis?
So you can sleep with someone before
but-
marriage.
Isn't
but
that the
you would
definition of
that.
contradictory? How's that
Having
work?
children with
Out of wedlock.
people that aren't your husband.
How's
You have
that
a one
work?
night stand and that's okay. The Lord said that's all right.
I don't know where in the
My
Bible
Holy
that
Ghost
is.
says different.
Yeah, he's like, oh, never mind that sin, but
Listen, that isn't the same. Listen, that
look
is
that up in
in
the
Poet
Bible.
Station 24/7.
yeah.
And the same where Derek John pulled that out with his wife and her bonnet of Christ or whatever. Poet Station 24/7 is where it is, where a woman will turn around and says, I don't believe in abortions because I'm religious, but I will believe in premarital sex
But you're
and going out and
around.
giving pum-pum to a man who isn't trying to make me his wife. Men choose wives, everybody.
You believe in getting
Men
pregnant.
choose wives. Women actually don't choose husbands.
No.
That is why, and when there's arranged marriages, the woman shows up and the family of the man
That's it.
chose her.
Right,
And the
that's it.
family of the woman presented her.
Right.
Let's not pretend like in Africa this isn't happening. I know we hear
Oh, it
about
happens
it.
every day.
Asian religion.
It's happening.
Watch Coming to America. If y'all don't like Coming
I
to
know,
America,
I
what
have
happens?
friends,
Yeah.
modern
Why
day
do
couples
they
who
work
would never
together?
Happens
believe
up to this day.
went to a wedding even
Yep.
3 years ago for an arranged marriage.
Arranged marriage.
From a modern couple too. This is not like some thing from
No,
another
like right
country.
here in
this
Canada.
is Canadian families.
Yeah. Black family too.
It actually arranged marriages statistically are more
Higher
successful than romantic marriages, if you look at the statistics.
And you know why? I'm gonna give you a little tidbit why.
People know you.
It's not even that, because the women who are chosen are groomed to be wives.
That too.
Yeah,
They're
that's true.
groomed to be traditional wives.
So she's all ready to be.
She's
like,
ready
a wife.
to be a wife.
And your families know you. Who knows you better than your family? So if they're choosing a partner for you, it might not be based on what you personally prefer physically. You might have to accommodate that. But they trust me. They chose someone that they knew you would get along with. I don't think any family would ever choose for a daughter or a son someone that they thought you love the snow and they hate it.
Right.
That would, like, why would they
And
why would they
forget
do
all
that
of
to
that.
you?
Let me just forget all that, because that's not like more than saying. Let me just and Rob said it once before, and it's fundamental. Kids want to say my mommy's pretty and my daddy has money. Let me tell you, there is a dowry that needs to be paid for these women. Most of these women are actually highly attractive. And most of these families with this men are high value men. Even when they're younger, the family has money and they're setting up the son to make sure that he can take care of his wife.
No. Exactly. And that's also a good thing, because that means that marriage is starting on a good foundation where each can fill the role properly. The woman has been groomed to take care of the home, to take care of the affairs of the household. The man has been groomed to work and to understand how to take care of a home financially, and as a man, as a leader. As my friends always say, the problem is that we have a bunch of people being told to get married, and some of these guys, some of them have never held a real job. No. They don't know what it is to take money and say, this is supposed to go here, this is supposed to go here, we need to save money. And then we have some women that don't even know how to boil pasta.
Well, they don't even want to be they don't even want to be in the house. They want to have a kid, but then they want to go back to their.
They just want to go out every day.
They don't want to respect their husband. They don't want to submit. They have an attitude problem.
Here's the thing. Let's be clear, ladies. If you thought he was a waistsuit when you were giving him pom pom, he doesn't change from being a waistsuit because you got pregnant.
No, actually, he becomes worse.
He becomes worse.
Thank you.
What's your pom pom if it like waist?
That is a key. But again, 14 weeks.
Why ain't you talking to your pom pom like? Why do you like what you like?
Yeah,
like,
14 weeks on your radio because we really want to stay on.
We're like, I do understand why, I've met enough pregnant women. I've seen my sisters have children. I've seen all of that. And I have never met, personally, met a pregnant woman that wants to be near a man other than their husband or their boyfriend. They don't want to be with anyone
dating
else
someone new
because they're pregnant.
And aren't they worried about the energies that are coming towards their stomach? I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. My background's Jamaican, and we're all about the spirit. Like, what kind of spirit are you bringing to my belly?
We're making soul ties with people. Why are we making soul ties with these people?
Who is this man? Why are you so quick to just introduce these weird, there's a lot of weird people
into your state. Here's the thing, because I haven't been pregnant, I didn't even want certain people touching my belly. Exactly. I don't know what kind of intention you have for me and this baby that is growing in me. Take yourself around me. Do not touch my belly.
Exactly.
Don't touch my belly. So now you've got new men coming in, dating or not, whatever. They're holding your hand. They're being intimate. You got all of this extra energy around you while you've got this innocent, sweet little thing growing in. No.
That's not right. It's just weird.
No.
Occasionally, dudes will say to each other,
"It's not right.
Stop thinking with you know what? Like, stop. It's more than just she's physically attractive to you. Maybe these women need to think with their pom pom a little bit more, because it doesn't seem to be making good decisions for
at
them
all. No.
It's not
Like,
making good
again,
decisions.
I
Period.
Poor
know
life
we
decision.
have to, like, hey, buddy, you can't just do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe ladies should be talking to David JJ the same way. Like, you just can't do whatever you want to do out here.
That part.
Have that
So we are
conversation.
running out of time. So I don't even have a lot to say. We're just going to have our final thoughts. And I'm done, actually. Ladies.
Yeah, so my final thought is sit down and really look into the strategy of how you are living your life. You can literally sit down and write down what you, now, yes, we know life is uncertain. You never know what you're doing, but you can decide that I'm going to make the right decision today. So-and-so dude, he's cute, but I heard him talking about how he hates kids. Maybe I shouldn't be all about, being with this man, nice guy. However, just make the right decisions. We all watched Sesame Street. We all know that 1 + 1 is 2.
Okay.
So why are we taking, why are we saying that 1 + 1 is 5? Why? Why are we trying to make logic out of something that is not true and never will be true? That's all I gotta say.
Honestly, this whole show is my takeaway. Every point made was exactly how I feel. That's the takeaway. It's exhausting.
I'm exhausted.
Like, it's an exhausting thing to constantly remind our women that, like, yo, the power is literally in your hands, and you are at cause. You can't blame Josh or Jamal because you knew what kind of man Jamal was, and you went to bed with him anyway, and now you have a child.
Jamal showed up as himself.
He showed up as himself, and you knew this. You didn't choose to have those conversations. So now that you're pregnant, honestly, you're going to do what you're going to do. But I suggest that you just focus on your child. Because clearly you're not alone. You have a whole life inside of you. Focus on your baby. Give it all the love and attention it deserves. And raise the child right. And learn from your mistakes. We all make mistakes. I get it. You're supposed to learn from them and move on with your life. That's my takeaway.
That's it.
How stupid does this sound? Seeking father while pregnant.
Girl, that's a whole new level of stupidity.
That's exactly what dating while pregnant is. You're seeking a father for a child that you've already bringing into the world. And Telly just made, and I thought I didn't have it, but Telly just said something that's key. The man showed you who he was. A lot of men who don't want babies with you will never have a conversation about the future with you because you are not the future of them. So why are you making permanent decisions for temporary situations? End of what I have to say. Go on, babe.
That part.
Completely unrelated. I think we all
Jesus.
agree. No, it just made me think of an article I read not too long ago. I'm going to throw out the party affiliation. It don't really matter. But the essence of it was a Republican. But the title of the article was Republican Senator Goes to Anti-Vaccine Rally Days After His Wife Dies from COVID. Cancel delusion. This is the world we live in.
Hey, see her face? Yeah.
Your wife just died of COVID and you at an anti-vaccine rally with no mask.
Wow.
This is the world.
And you're an elected leader in this country. Y'all wonder why we're struggling? Here you go.
Wow.
Yeah, hashtag cancel delusion.
Hashtag cancel delusion.
Hashtag cancel
Quick
delusion.
announcement before Telly's final words. Next week's show will be on at a new time. It won't be a permanent time, but next week's show will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific and Mountain. So Jamaican.
Sounded very
Pacific.
Jamaican.
You're Jamaica.
Pacific and Mountain.
You're Jamaica.
Your whole Jamaica show.
And now Tally, take it away.
We want to thank everybody so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. As she was said, be sure to tune in next week at our special time, 7 p.m. Eastern, but 4 p.m. we believe.
Pacific.
Huge shout out and thank you to Radio Region for giving us this lovely platform. Huge thank you to iHeartRadio. Follow us on YouTube, right here on Instagram, and join our Facebook group, all on Not Your Typical Girl Talk. And until next time, everyone, we are going to dance it out.
Well, no, we're not.
We're not going to dance it out. We're just going to, But be careful. because sometimes the right music will get you pregnant. So y'all be safe out there. Make sure you get the
Stay away from
contraceptives.
them baby making music.
Girl, this is slow 90s R&B. Listen, y'all.
Yeah, maybe listen to that after you've made it home from the date safely.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Happy Saturday. See you next week.
Take care, everyone. Have an awesome weekend. See you all next week.
Cancel.